Welcome back to the News OK Studios. I am Adam Kim. I'm joined today by Jett Sternberger from Kingfisher High School. He is one of our Super 5 Players of the Year and our Little All-City Player of the Year. Thanks for joining us, Jett.
Well, thanks for having me.
Just wanted to talk to you about the year. You know, you guys were pretty unbelievable all year at Kingfisher. You kind of run through the regular season with only one loss. You get to the state tournament, and really, you take your revenge back against Heritage Hall after losing to them in the championship game last year. What was that like to go through?
I mean, to bounce back like that, and with the rivalry we had with them, and to get some redemption, I mean, that was just an awesome feeling. Like, so every day in practice, I mean, that was just a reminder that we lost last year to them, and I mean, it's just that bitter taste in your mouth and stuff. And I mean, just to come back and beat them, and not only beat them, but like beat them by 20 plus, I mean, it was just an awesome feeling, undescribable almost. I
talked to you after that game. You were super hyped up, as you should be, and you were just kind of, you were telling me, you know, a storybook ending. Is that kind of what it felt like? I
mean, it truly, like, you could not write a better story and stuff, because last year we were undefeated and they had one loss, and then this year the roles were flipped, and I mean, it's just a great way to go out, honestly.
Yeah. Tell me about this Kingfisher team this year, because any given night, really, it could have been any of you, you know, leading the way. What was that like, kind of knowing that's your team's makeup?
I mean, we all kind of just bought in and realized that, like, we have 5 dudes who can legitimately play and score anytime they touch the ball. So, I mean, we all grew up this year and realized that, like, hey, like, it really doesn't matter who scores or what happens, but I mean, like, as long as we get the win, it doesn't matter. So I think that made us super solid as a team, to just go in and to trust each other overall, and be able to just, like, rely on each other the most.
I know you guys were good defensively last year, but you turned it to another level this year. When did that discussion start of, like, hey, if we're going to win this, it's going to be because of our defense?
March 10th last year, like in the locker room after we lost in state. So I mean, that was our main goal all summer and stuff, and that was what we worked on all year in practice. And I mean, that was just like, shots aren't always falling and stuff, but I mean, defense always travels, and that's just what our coaches did a great job of stressing to us this year, is that, I mean, if we're going to win, like we can outscore anybody, but I mean, it's just the fact that, like, can we defend for 32 minutes?
Yeah. Tell me just kind of about your schedule, because it's crazy. You are we're also an all-city football player for us at quarterback. You come in here, you're an all-city basketball player. That's got to be tough to kind of manage that.
I mean, it was at first, but then you just get used to it, and I mean, it's second nature to go from weights in the morning at football to football practice to film, and then straight to the gym, and then dinner, and then wake up and start over.
Right.
And then, I mean, it's just routine now.
Because you were doing that straight from football practice, you would get some shots up.
Yeah, for sure. Go home, shower, grab a snack, and then to the gym.
I mean, I feel like not a lot of kids have that kind of dedication. So what gives you that? What makes you drive that way?
I mean, there's a lot of times where you don't feel like it, but I mean, this year honestly was probably the easiest, because it was just that bitter taste from losing to Heritage Hall, and it was every time that you didn't want to go, it was just like, do you really want to lose again? And then I mean, it was just like, just that extra motivation.
Right. Kind of some fun things coming up for you. First and foremost, your older brother will be in the NFL draft coming up soon. What's that kind of been like just as a family?
I mean, that's been an undescribable feeling as a family and stuff, just to realize, like, that all his hard work is paying off and stuff. And I mean, he took a chance and betted on himself and went to NEO, and it obviously paid off in a great amount. But I mean, just for him to achieve his goals and to be able to do what he loves is an awesome feeling.
And then for you, heading to college, you announced during the middle of the basketball season, Rogers State is where you're heading. Tell me about that program and why you decided to go there.
I mean, I just felt really comfortable, and when I took my official visit, and it truly just felt like a home, and I have a really good relationship with some of the players, and especially the coaching staff, and I'm just a huge fan of everything about them, honestly.
Tell me how you think your skill set kind of translates to the next level, because you're a really interesting prospect. You're probably the size of a guard, but you can play, you know, a forward sometimes. You can shoot. You get into the lane. What do you think your specialty is going to be?
Shooter, probably. A true, like, two-guard, shooting guard type guy.
Yeah.
So that's what I see myself as.
Have you been kind of working on that, trying to, like?
For sure, yeah.
I guess just, you know, thinking back on your 4 years at Kingfisher, what kind of stands out to you?
The success and the community support. I mean, like, because we've always been good in sports and stuff, and to be able to ride that wave and continue success, and I mean the amount of support that we have from the community behind us is, I mean, it's just unreal, and that's one thing that you'll never like forget ever.
Yeah, defense travels, and your fan base
Fan
seems to
always
travel.
travels, exactly.
You know, you're a part of Kingfisher's first 2 basketball championships. What does that feel like to say?
I mean, that's just an unreal feeling, like sophomore year, because that was our first championship ever to play in. And to win it, I mean, it's just an indescribable feeling, and to bring it home. I mean, like, if you saw, like, this past year in the state, I mean, the whole town was there, and it was like that for every game. If we were playing a bad team, good team, I mean, they always came, and it was just awesome to bring it home to them.
Was it like that early on, like when you were a freshman, or the fan?
Nah, not really. Throughout the year of high school, it just got more fans.
Well, that had to be really cool to know that you're part of this building of Kingfisher basketball. Have you ever thought about that?
I mean, not necessarily me. It's just like the fact that like we have 4 or 5 dudes in the gym every day working, and I mean, and our coaches are great, and that's just been like a combined efforts of all of us and stuff. And it's just to realize that like if you look back at it now, like what us 5 starters did is just like almost like iconic for Kingfisher.
Yeah. After you won that one as a sophomore, was there some thought like, hey, these are going to come easy now?
Almost, yeah, and that kind of like shot us in the foot going into that next year. We were just like, all right, like we're here now, like we're undefeated, like hey, like we won it last year, no worries, and we're a lot better than last year's team. So I mean, but I mean, it ended up killing us, and then it was just that next year it was just like back to step one, like hey, like we really aren't even that good, like, and now we just got to focus in.
Yeah, you ramped up the schedule too. You played
yeah,
some real tough teams.
A little bit.
What was that kind of like? Did that help you prepare for postseason?
That TOC was huge for us, and the OKC Storm game was huge for us because those were 4 state tournament games basically, because those are 4 like state level teams, and I mean that truly helped us out and put more game-like situations, like game scenarios type like yes.
Awesome. He's Jett Sternberger. I'm Adam Kemp. For more varsity sports coverage, visit us at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.